Alright, is FrOzenSwipe here. I got a game of Hardpoint on the map Hijacked, apparently. I don't know, I got this gameplay a long time ago, so I don't really remember a lot about it. All I know is that apparently I got a decent score in it, and I think I joined late as well, actually. But I managed to get a somewhat decent score out of it, so, you know, it's all good. But anyway, that's not really what I want to talk about. I'm not really here to talk about the gameplay. I'm here to talk about something what I would consider far more important. And that is the fact that a couple of days ago, we almost had snow. On Friday morning there was loads of snowfall. We could see it, it was magnificent, it was beautiful, and we were all really excited about this. And the reason being is that in Ireland we don't get a lot of snow, okay? We just pretty much get year-round rain, which is a topic that I will rant about a little bit more later on in this video. But, you know, it started to snow and it was beautiful because we don't get a lot of snow here. And, you know, when we see snowfall, the first thing that comes to mind is, yes, you know, snowball fights, building snowmen, snow forts, possibly getting a day off school or maybe a day off work, and, you know, spending the entire day frolicking around in a winter wonderland. You know, just amazing, right? And we're really hyped up for this. It was, you know, and then the second thought you think is that you better fucking stick. And unfortunately that's what it didn't do. The reason being is because the night before it had been pissing rain and the ground was completely soaked, and it wasn't enough for it to freeze over and anything like that, so you had liquid water on the ground, and as the snow fell it would melt instantly when it came in contact with the ground. So what you had was precipitation in the form of snow that would then result in flooding. Like, only in Ireland would you get snow and then end up with floods. Like, that's just how the weather works here, apparently. And, you know, the weather here is just absolutely troll-tastic. It really is something spectacular. I mean, usually it's just pissing rain. I mean, we've gotten used to this. Like, if we hadn't gotten used to this, it would be incredibly frustrating, to be quite perfectly honest. But, you know, after what seems like millennia of just constant piss, right, that is our weather, you know, you kind of get used to the fact that when in doubt, it is going to piss rain. That's just how it is here. It was also meant to snow again today, and, you know, unfortunately that didn't really happen. I mean, we got a little bit of snowfall, but again, it still didn't stick. We didn't get floods from it, and it wasn't as spectacular as it was on Friday. But, you know, it was still somewhat disappointing because we had our hearts set on this magical winter wonderland, and it was going to be amazing, and, you know, snowball fights and everything I said just a couple of minutes ago. Yeah, we had that in our hearts, and it was going to be we thought it was going to be amazing. And to be fair, if it did stick, if the ground wasn't completely soaked, we would have had that. A couple of years ago, actually, we had really heavy snowfall. We didn't have anywhere near as much last year, but 2 years ago we had really heavy snowfall, to the point where the government actually ran out of grit to, you know, de-ice the roads, and, you know, no one could go anywhere. The entire country was at a standstill. From a business point of view, from an adult point of view, it was, you know, it was chaotic. It was horrible. From a kid's point of view, it was amazing. We didn't have to go to school, and we could play in the snow, and it was so deep, and there were so many snowball fights and everything, and it was absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, however, my school was open to the bitter end. Like, well, you had other schools that would, you know, pretty much closed instantly at the sight of snow. No, not my school. Our school was open to the bitter end. Like, it only closed for one day officially. Like, I managed to weasel my way out of a couple of days so that I could play in the snow because, well, you know, we couldn't get to school. That's the excuse I'm using. My school only officially closed for one day, and that was the day when the Department of Education just kind of went, fuck it, right? It's not happening, guys. You don't put kids at risk. Just close up school, okay? And it was ridiculous. Even the days where I went in, half the people didn't even show up. Like, there wasn't even any point. We just watched DVDs the whole time. There really wasn't any point to it being open, and yet they insisted that the school stay open. But, you know, oh god, that's just how my school was. Because, so, you know, even if it did stick, essentially we would have had our winter wonderland, but we probably would have been stuck in school and wouldn't have had any time to enjoy it whatsoever. So I suppose, we didn't miss out that much. I didn't anyway, because I know that I would have gone to school, I would have gotten shit tons of homework, and then, you know, again, I would have had as much spare time to do anything else. So, anyway, but yeah, I'm sure some of you are probably listening to this commentary just going, why the fuck is he talking about the weather? And that's actually quite a good question, because Irish people, we always talk about the weather, and it's got me thinking, and I think it basically boils down to the point that we as Irish people just love to complain about things. We love to complain about absolutely everything and anything. That's just what we do. And I think British people are the only people who would rival us in terms of complaining. I mean, they love to complain as well. However, if complaining was an Olympic sport, I think we'd still beat them out, just purely because well, we can always pull the 800 years of oppression card, in which they kind of can't. I mean, the Britain had an empire that spanned like across the entire world. And what did we have? We had potatoes, right? And then they stopped working, and the whole country was fucked at that point. Millions of us died. Loads of us emigrated as well, and the country was never the same. So yeah, I think we've won this round. I don't think they can beat us there, but we love complaining, and the weather is a great source of this, purely because in Ireland we pretty much just get year-round rain. It's the one thing you can consistently rely on. Is the fact that the weather will always be shite, right? Especially when you least expect it. And that's purely because the prevailing winds in Ireland are from the southwest. And you also have the Gulf Stream, which comes from the southwest, which is a current of warm water. And what happens is, as the wind blows over this warm water, it becomes warmer and it becomes less dense, and it can hold more moisture. And as a result, we're usually dominated by low pressure regions for the most part. And for those of you who know your meteorology, that means basically a lot of overcast, drizzle, light rain, that sort of thing. And we get that a lot here. And it's not even that real like thundery downpours that you would see in like kind of cliched American TV shows or whatever, or in movies or anything like that. It's just constant rain. It's just like always there. It's not spectacular in any way. It's depressing, and it's miserable, and it's horrible. It's horrible, and it's annoying for the most part. And because we are surrounded by ocean, generally speaking, our temperatures are very moderate. Like our winters really aren't that cold. I mean, usually it'll go down to around freezing, and in the real cold days of winter, but it'll never go much beyond that. And in summer, again, our temperatures are very moderate. We don't get very warm summers. We get very wet summers, in fact. Irish people, when we look at the story of Noah's Ark, we give off a scoff of derision whenever we read the part, and it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and we're just kind of there going, yeah, we call that fucking summer. So we get a lot of rain, if you haven't already established that from this little rant here. But I believe I was also making a point. Oh yeah, the fact that we're surrounded by water on all sides because we're an island, it means that our temperatures are very moderate. So we don't get very extreme weather. We don't get a lot of sunny days. We don't get a lot of snow as well. In fact, the only times we'll generally tend to get snow is if the prevailing winds just completely change and it comes from the northeast as opposed to the southwest that it usually does. And we get weather fronts coming in from like Siberia and things like that. And that's the only time we'll ever get snow. If it's a lovely day, even that could be used as a conversation starter, because you go, oh, what a lovely day it is. It's amazing, it's fantastic. But if it's lovely for too many consistent days in a row, we'll start to complain about that. We'll call it a heat wave, which is basically just a few days of no rain and it being moderately warm, right? That's what we would consider a heat wave. And at that point, we're just kind of like, come on, it's too warm at that point, because we can't deal with the heat, because we've never had to. Again, our temperatures are very moderate, right? We can only survive within a very, very small range of temperatures. And if we went to, say, the Antarctic or something like that, we'd be fucked. Went to the equator, we'd be equally as fucked. Like, Tommy Tiernan estimates the melting point of an Irishman to be 35 degrees Celsius. To be honest, I have to agree with him, because I wouldn't be able to deal with 35 degrees Celsius. I wouldn't be able to deal with anything over that, right? You'd just be fucked at that point. So, essentially, to answer your question, the reason why I'm complaining about the weather is because it's my duty as an Irish person to complain about everything and anything possible, and the weather is most definitely one of those things. So anyway, this has been FrOzenSwipe. Hope you've enjoyed, and thanks for watching.